Let's talk about Survivor Series, which is this Saturday. It is the 29th, if I remember correctly. Let me take a look. Let's talk about it. Saturday, November 29th, Petco Park, San Diego, California. As of right now, WWE has distributed 34,540 tickets. 34,540 tickets. My word. 30,000 tickets for this show. That's amazing. And at these prices, too, it is absolutely absurd. They have 4 matches set for Survivor Series. We're going to talk about all 4 of those matches today. And we'll get to Raw if we get to Raw. There was nothing really worth discussing there. But obviously, Penta was injured in his match. From a top rope hurricanrana, he fell weirdly, and I think he may have separated his shoulder or something like that. And he was removed. So Solo Sikoa moved forward in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Gunther defeated Carmelo Hayes. Big surprise there. Even though it was a gutsy performance by Carmelo Hayes, they've been treating him like an underdog babyface. I don't know why they're doing that. That doesn't fit his character. His character is too cocky for that, but whatever. Whatever works, I guess. So Gunther's going forward. Solo's going forward. But let's talk about the first match that's listed here. Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship. And the one thing that people want to talk about is the Dominic Mysterio segment, which was reminiscent of 2010's WWE, where Dominic came out talking about putting an end to the John Cena retirement tour. John Cena's theme song plays. It plays for a little too long, and then a midget comes out, and it's a midget John Cena with a midget stew. The midget stew popped me. Now, the midget John Cena, admittedly, it didn't do much for me. But midget stew, yeah, they got me. They got me with midget stew. All right. So they get in the ring, and then the midget John Cena does fine speech, and he's got the worst lisp I have heard in a really long time. It is worse than Cody's. It's worse than mine. Okay, fine speech. He talks like Judge Death. Like, what is this? It was so bad. And then Dominic just kicked him in the face and beat him up. And then Rey Mysterio chased Dominic off. This was very bad. It was a very bad segment, but it was funny. Somebody was backstage and they found the recipe book for WWE and they said, midgets. Midget versions of wrestlers. We haven't done that in a while. Let's do that. I just think that it was poorly done, mainly because the music played for so long that people figured it was a swerve. And then Dominic himself was laughing through it before he attacked the guy. It is what it is, man. It's the kind of segment people are going to remember for sure. But Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena. Now, John Cena is not so degraded in his character that he should be losing clean matches to Dominic Mysterio. And yet, he does have to give Dominic the Intercontinental Championship back. So how do you take John Cena, who has gone head up with CM Punk and Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar and Cody and AJ Styles, and they were doing all sorts of stuff in the ring, especially him and AJ. How do you get him to be able to lose to Dominic? Well, clearly there's going to be run-ins, right? You have JD McDonough run in, you have Finn Balor run in. That seems weak, but it might be the only way we can get, the run-in might be the only way we can get it to happen. Maybe we use the old hammer trick where Dominic hits John Cena with the hammer. It's going to be hard, but Dominic has to win this match because he's got to get the title back. And it's just sensible for John Cena to give him the belt back in San Diego. I'm going to be interested in seeing how they do it because smart money would have probably found it's going to have to find a very different way to get John Cena to drop this title because Dominic doesn't have strong offense. So it's going to be very, very interesting. how we get that thing done. So next, Stephanie Vakair versus Nikki Bella. Oh boy, it's payday for Nikki Bella. She's gotta pay that child support, lick that thumb, count out that cash, and send it to what's his name, Artev. Artev is sitting there pointing at his empty wallet, like fill it, like an empty bucket, fill it. On this show, they did virtually nothing. There was Raquel Rodriguez wants to have a match with Stephanie, but she got leapfrogged by Nikki Bella. She was unhappy about that. Who cares? Even though she has a good point. And then there was the Stephanie Vakair promo segment with absolutely butchered English. Nikki Bella isn't as smart as she thinks she is. If she did, she would know who she's messing with. Nikki Bella doesn't have a chance in hell in winning this match. Again, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Stephanie Vakair needs to have a horseshoe up her ass. I'm talking firmly affixed to her cervix in order to get this match over. Because nobody has gotten a damn thing out of Nikki Bella. She sucks ass. And it's going to be very tough. Extremely tough to get something out of her that's going to be respectable. So, good luck. I'm going to go with Stephanie Vakair. Women's War Games match. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors, and Becky Lynch. He had a promo segment in the middle of the ring where Becky Lynch can run everybody down. And she said that she had her best lawyers on the Jessica Carr situation, and she's going to end AJ Lee. And then she talked about all of her partners, saying that she beat Asuka 9 times out of 10, but Asuka was tough and made her work for it. Said that she saved Kairi's life and know that Kairi will be loyal to her. Says that Nia Jax is big and strong, almost as big and strong as she is. And that Lash Legend is tall, and she's going to take Lash Legend under her wing like she did all these other women. And then she kind of ran down the other team. Rhea's team, I'm just going to call it Team Rhea. They come out there, and next you know, AJ Lee's got the mic. She's saying that she doesn't need to bark like Becky Lynch does. She just bites. And next you know, they're brawling. And it was a pointless brawl that seemingly went nowhere. But it is what it is. This completely fugazi story between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Now they put the big stars in there, Becky and AJ Lee, so now they've taken over the story. Nia Jax is a completely forgotten element to this thing, and poor Lash Legend. She was brought onto this show. She has yet to cut a promo by herself, and she hasn't worked at all. She hasn't done anything on her own. She hasn't had a single match since they brought her up. Nothing. You know? So people forget that she's even there. They don't know what she can do. Not the main roster. And they didn't do a vignette for her either. So it's all just down bad in spades. It's a toss-up about who could possibly win this thing. Because I really don't see any major shakeups in terms of roster, regardless of who wins. You know? I mean, what changes if Becky Lynch's team wins? I don't know. What changes if Rhea Ripley's team wins? I don't know. We started out with this feud being Io and Asuka. Now it's about AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Like that's where we are. And yet neither feud is really served by this match happening because we don't know what the next step is in either feud. So, look, we're stuck with this thing. Got to make the most of it. And since I got to make a choice, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Lee. Because it seems like the baby faces are going to go over, at least in this match. There's no reason why Kairi can't take a pin, you know, or a Lash Legend or something. So I'm going to go with them, even though it doesn't really make much sense. All right, the main event, Men's War Games. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, and Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. So they had a opening promo here that really was, again, another Fugazi Heat segment where Cody Rhodes, Punk, and Roman Reigns had to big league each other, with Cody Rhodes wondering if he could trust Roman Reigns, and Roman giving his word that he's gonna look, let's just truncate this. Roman promised Punk and Cody that he hates the Vision and Paul Heyman more than he hates them, so he's got their back. And plus, he's not going to betray his family. He's not going to make his family look bad. And that's pretty much all there is. Punk and Cody had issues about whose team it is, who's the leader of the team. You might be the quarterback, but on Monday nights, I'm the champ. It's all stupid. These are baby faces. Why are they arguing about who the leader of the team is? Nobody should really care about that. They should be focused on their singular enemy. Jey Uso came back there. He was loud and clapping. Apparently, they're going to have a Survivor Series Advantage match. That was the main event. It was the Usos versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And after Jey Uso picked up Logan Paul and was not quite sure what to do with them, I mean, he dribbled him like a basketball before just dropping him. Just saying, forget it. I mean, it was like a hot potato. I just don't. This Jey Uso experiment has been a disaster. God. Logan Paul rolled up Jey Uso and pinned him too. At least I'm pretty sure that was Jey. I wasn't paying that close attention to it, I must admit. So, the heel team will have the advantage come War Games. They had the big post-match brawl. Brock Lesnar came out, and fell on his ass. I don't know. Too much momentum. He tipped over, fell on his ass, and rolled up. Most people laughed. He even started smiling. Brock is he's not a huge egomaniac. I mean, he split his pants earlier this year. Now he's falling down. I mean, my God. You know you're getting old when you can't even keep your equilibrium together. Gee Louise. But nobody broke character. So got to give the guys credit. Most of the guys weren't paying attention anyway. They were staring at the ring. But we didn't get to see the camera looking at the other guys. But none of his heel cohorts saw him fall. Unless I think Brian Breaker was standing right there and Heyman was standing there, but Brock falling was funny, man. You even got to show Brock even has a good sense of humor. He smiled at it. But they had a pretty generic brawl to end the show too. Again, WWE with the generic brawls. Enough's enough. I just don't see the purpose in having generic brawls. It's pointless to me, especially in both matches. Both matches they decided to brawl the same way. It's foolish. Foolish endeavors, I must say. I gotta say. Now, in terms of this match, there is a little bit more on the line here, considering they want to continue the Drew McIntyre Cody Rhodes story. So that means the heels have to go over, because Punk doesn't really have any opponents, and Cody has been locked in this feud with Drew McIntyre. So in order to move their stories forward, so the heels have to win this match. And everything can move, like you can ungum up the works. For instance, you put Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker back into the conversation to wrestle CM Punk if their team wins. Drew McIntyre is back in the conversation against Cody, and so is Logan Paul if their team wins. So that's kind of where we are at this point in time. So I'm going to go with the heels winning. I'm going to go with the Vision, Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. I'm not so sure that, I know Brock is kind of a cheat code anyway in this match, but it's entirely possible for this match to end without Brock really doing much of anything. He's going to come in last, And I can see them doing something amazing. I truly believe they're going to break the cage. They're going to break the cage or the ring or something. Something is going to get broken because of Brock, and it ought to be the big moment of the match. I could see somebody like Brock grabbing somebody and throwing them through the cage door or something like that. That might be the only way to make it worthwhile having him in it. Otherwise, all Brock's going to do is suplex people and throw guys. And he might get hit with like a chair or, a styrofoam cup or something. I don't know, man. But something's got to happen. Something's got to shake, bro. All right, so that's Survivor Series. I got Stephanie Vakair winning. I got Dominic Mysterio winning. I got the baby faces, Rhea Ripley, Io, Alexa, Charlotte, and AJ Lee winning. And I got the Vision, Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar, and Drew McIntyre winning. Now let's go into the rest of Monday Night Raw. There's not much there. Rey Mysterio defeated JD McDonough in a match. I'm not going to even lie to you. I don't like JD McDonough, so I didn't really care about this. But there was an interesting quote by the Hitman, Bret Hart, who said something nice about somebody, which is extremely rare. He said that Rey Mysterio might be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And guess what? He ain't lying. Here's what Bret Hart said. Quote, when I met Rey Mysterio, I still say this, Rey Mysterio is one of the greatest wrestlers, maybe the greatest wrestler of all time. Nobody can lace Rey Mysterio's shoes up. He was such a great wrestler, a great athlete. He was just so good and such a smart wrestler and so amazing. Maybe when I was in my late 20s, I would have loved to wrestle Rey Mysterio. By the time I was in WCW, it might have been hard for me to do the kind of match I would have loved with Rey Mysterio. That is... It warms my heart because we know that Bret Hart did like working with guys who are like Rey. He liked working with his brother Owen, who probably would have tore the roof off of the building with Rey. And he liked working with Sean Waltman, the 1-2-3 Kid, who also was an undersized guy. And I just imagine how good the Bret Hart Rey Mysterio matches could have been. Holy hell, they could have been really good. So Rey might be one of the GOATs. He's certainly one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But even he couldn't get me to watch JD McDonough. Good luck. I ain't doing it. Roxanne Perez and Ivy Nile both want Maxine Dupree and the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Ivy Nile, they pulled her out of storage. Clearly, if they didn't pull her out, they was going to have to lose her in auction. She's been in there for so goddamn long. And her hair has so many extensions in it. I thought her name was LaQuisha rather than Ivy. It's ridiculous. Like, what's going on here? Okay, but at least they're doing something, I guess. Roxanne Perez is likely the newest inheritor of this title. And it would make sense for Roxanne to get in there and take that belt from Maxine. But they said something about Maxine and I think Natty. She's going to call Natty for something. I wasn't paying that close attention. I'm not even going to lie to you. But we can keep Natty where she is. All right. I think Natty's fine exactly where she is. She's comfortable there. Why disturb her? Why do you want to do that? She's with her kittens. She's with her husband. I mean, just leave her alone, you know? The New Day are getting a tag team title shot because there are no other tag teams in WWE. I mean, it is what it is. New Day is cooked beyond belief. This tag team division, tag team wrestling is in the shitter. You know, like, it really is across the board. I said this already, but across the board, like, you could just pick any company and tag team wrestling is in the goddamn toilet. Raquel Rodriguez wants to fight Stephanie Vakair. I think I talked about this already. They probably should have done that, but they want to do this Nikki Bella thing first. It's not smart, not good. You know, the WWE they're struggling, man. I mean, they're doing okay financially and obviously from a business perspective due to the fact that they sold 30,000 goddamn tickets for this show. But In 5 years, what is he going to look like? And this is where Triple H comes in, because he did an interview for Complex. And he says, when people talk about the business now, and they talk about where our talent are at, the top players are all in top positions, and they're a bit older, but the thickness and the depth of what is underneath is what I'm most excited about, because the field is deep. This business is going to be in a good shape for a long time. So he's claiming that the roster is thick and deep. Oh my. How about actually using those people? Why can't you use them now? Well, why do we have to wait for Punk and all these guys to go away? Why can't we mix some of these guys in now? I get it. You the title can't be defended. You know, we got this backwards rule now. Like before, you had to defend your championship every 30 days. Now it's a mandatory 30-day waiting period before every title shot. Punk has been champion for how long now? Has he defended the title? No. Do we even have a number one contender? No. Now, Cody had bullshit title matches with like Bronson Reed and stuff on TV, which are not even legitimate, because Bronson Reed doesn't even work on SmackDown. So I can't do the same thing with him. And plus he wrestled Drew McIntyre, I believe, at the pay-per-view, and that wasn't that long ago. But you gotta be kidding me. We can't mix Braun Breaker in, and it sucks, man. Triple H is really wasting people's time. You can't have it both ways, and that's what they're trying to do. They want to hold down some guys because they're young, guys like Javon Evans and Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. But they also want to keep talking about how these guys are the future and these guys are going to be big stars. You have to show. Stop telling me about it and go out there and show me. When you got 38-year-old Gunther beating the shit out of Carmelo Hayes, that doesn't show me that Carmelo Hayes is the future. Carmelo Hayes has 0 big wins. He's wrestled Cody Rhodes and gotten close and lost. He's wrestled Randy Orton and got close and lost. Now he's wrestled Gunther. They treating him like They treating Carmelo Hayes like the Javon Evans of SmackDown. He's a Make-A-Wish kid. This is bullshit. That dude is almost 30. Like, enough's enough, man. If the guy's got all the pieces, let's get him in the mix. At least with the U.S. title. Or, let's say, hey, we're doing this Dragunov thing, or who's the U.S. champion on Raw? I mean, the Intercontinental champion on Raw. John Cena. Okay, so we're doing these things. Put him in a tag team and let the tag team division is fucking dead. Do personal feuds. Something that can increase the value of these guys. Let them work on pay-per-views instead of doing stupid matches on TV that they lose. I don't know why they think booking guys like mid-Carters and 80s Mid-South or something is the best way to do it. Oh, they get so close, but they lose. No, they should win. Winning matters when we're trying to get guys over here. But Triple H is talking about the thickness and the girth of his roster. He needs to get the hell out of here because he's not doing a good job. And then he's got even better talent in NXT waiting for spots. So we're talking about some guys have been on this main roster for a year or two now. And they're not even positioned appropriately on the show. And what are you going to do when Trick Williams and Obafemi and these guys are ready to come up? Then what? You're screwed times 2 at that point. This business is going to be in a good place. Man, come on. Triple H is full of shit. But then again, we already knew that. So thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Also, if you are not going to watch any more wrestling shows this week, have a happy Thanksgiving. Otherwise, we'll be back for NXT. And we'll be back for Dynamite, probably. After looking at that Continental Classic thing, I'm legitimately thinking maybe not. But hey, I may do it anyway for you guys. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys